What is going on, everybody? The Goldboys live. As you can tell, normal crew is all out after Will has given me so much trash for missing a week, and now he's gone all week. But I got Matt here, as always. Sleeper picks, Hall of Fame bets, and Pickett Sports as our sponsors. Really weird Monday slate. I feel like the MLB likes to have these big travel days on Sunday with a lot of games, and then Monday they just kind of have these smaller slates. So probably won't be too long today. But how you doing, man?
Doing good, Brian. How about you, man?
I'm all right. I had to watch my favorite play of the weekend yesterday was the Braves. Had Max Fried like five strikeouts in a win, and they lost without a ball even being put in play. The top of the ninth, Giants got walk, hit by pitch, four pitch walk, and I think there's nothing more frustrating in betting on baseball than at least lose with a guy making solid contact. Don't just give him four straight bases in a row. But that was a little frustrating. Other than that,
Yeah.
it's a decent weekend.
Add it to the laundry list of what's frustrating betting baseball. It's you could have a guy that's up, he gets walked. You need him for a hit. He stares at three strikes, doesn't even swing that. I mean, you name it. Uh,
It can.
uh,
I think one
there's
of the
nine things.
things. I think one of the things
So
that can be
yeah,
frustrating with baseball
that's definitely
too.
one that would drive me crazy too.
No, I think we're good. I think it was a slight delay. We're good now. I think one of the other things with baseball that can be really frustrating is the fact that it's such a slower moving sport and you're invested for a long time. So by hour two and a half, three to lose on something like stupid like that gets really kind of frustrating.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So what do you like tonight? You talking with Nola in your face?
It's funny you bring that up because I did actually bet on the Phillies and Aaron Nola, and I feel disgusted about it because I try to actively avoid the Phillies like the plague just because they're my favorite team, but the Giants have not hit the ball well. Fun fact, they are yeah, I think Matt's mic's burning up a little bit, but I think we're good now. I was gonna say Aaron Nola, he's better at home this year. Um, the Giants are 24.5% strikeout rate against righties the last 30 days. They are dead last in WRC plus and dead last in on base percentage. So the way I'm thinking about this is not me backing the team I root for, the Phillies. It's me fading the Giants. So I did bet five strikeouts and a win. It's minus 107 on FanDuel. And then if you have Barstool, because they did redo their limits and they're by pen now, it's a whole different thing. I did also play six in a win at plus 135. And I just think plus 135 for six in a win is such a crazy price that I did back them twice. I think the Phillies are a lot better at home. And as scary as Aaron Nola can be, his only thing is he's top 10 in the league in whip. He doesn't allow many base runners. He just allows a ton of home runs. And the Giants are not a team that really kill you on the long ball. So as long as he keeps in the solo shots and not too many of them, I think it's a great spot.
Yeah, I think we're also getting a little bit of a discount because of how bad they looked against Washington. People are like, "Oof, it's a hard team to want to back right now." But
And Sunday night
I'm
baseball
with you.
too.
I think the Phillies are.
Not
Yeah,
yeah, national audience. It's never good to have your stinker go there.
it was tough. Schwarber and Harper were all over boosts, and I don't think either one of them got a hit. Um, yeah, Nationals putting up what, a four spot in the first inning. Like it was.
I think
Yeah,
I honestly think as a fan and so I was watching that game with excitement, and as a baseball fan, it was a rough watch because the Nationals had five straight hits to start the game without a single out recorded. It was all five straight hits, four runs, and then that was the end. That was the end of the scoring for almost six or seven innings. It was just one of those things where for the longest time there was runs in the first inning and then in the ninth inning, no in between.
yeah. Gosh, all right. So I'm looking at the chat. Brad's wanting a home run pick out of this game, so I'll give him one without seeing the lineups yet. If I had to take somebody, I I would go against Nola. Like Brian said, he has trouble keeping the ball in the yard. If I'm going to go anybody, maybe like a Lamont Wade. He should be leading off. When they face a right-handed pitcher, he's usually up in that one or two hole, and he hits well. It's conducive to hitting in Philly tonight, from what I'm seeing in the weather report. So that would be my best bet. Again, without having lineups to go off of, I think that's your best look.
Yeah, especially when it's also hard to back people for say the Phillies in a game like this because the Giants almost every game now are just a bullpen session. Every single they
Oh
always
my
have an opener now, and it's hard to back batter props when you don't know
gosh.
the exact matchup because you're going to see Alexander for what an inning,
Yep.
maybe two if he's really efficient. So it's really tough to really lock down lefty righty splits and matchups when you don't know who exactly you're going to be seeing throughout the game.
Yeah, they're just so creative with that, and like you mentioned, it makes it very very difficult to bat or back offense in games with openers. Uh, it just it sucks. It's almost like your guy's going to face probably 3 or 4 different pitchers over the course of his at bats in that game, and so your matchup data is almost useless. Like you
Yeah.
just kind of have to go with who's locked in right now, what type of pitches they're hitting, um, and match that up. Say, hey, this guy's a heavy breaking ball guy. Okay, who's mashing breaking balls from that side of the plate and stuff like that. But yeah, it's very difficult, and I don't think you ever get good prices and fair prices on the Phillies sluggers. It's just you're threading the needle.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Schwarber is one of those guys that hits so many home runs. He also leads off the game, so he's always going to be like that 2-1 matchup. And sometimes he gets the juiciest matchup ever. And I want to dabble in a home run, and then I see it's plus 210, and I don't care if he hits three that game. I just think getting 2-1 on those kind of props can be so frustrating.
Only on Tuesdays is it worth it, because then it can become plus EV when you throw in the free bets, and as long as you can flip them and stuff like that. Yeah, it'll be depressed versus other sports books, but as long as you're going through and chopping those lines, and then you think, okay, if we get 3 or 4 home runs this game, uh, you can hopefully make that a good bet. But yeah, he's one of my go-to guys for a Tuesday night dinger parlay. That's for sure.
Yeah. Is there anything that you have locked in? Because I only have two things I was looking at, so I wasn't sure if you had anything that stood
No,
out to you coming into the show.
yeah, I don't bet a lot pitching like you and some of the other guys in the Discord. I go on the other side of the coin. I'll bet total runs, and I'll bet uh, you know player props, offensive player props. That is. So
Yeah.
I have to wait for lineups and really lock that in, because especially the way the Phillies are playing with their lineups right now, it's not very predictable. Is Turner going to be in the 2? Or is he going to be dropped down to 6 or 7? How many lefties are going to be in there? There's just too much to. And the Giants, my gosh, they're just as bad. So um, for this specific game, I love your Nola look in the win. I think we're getting a discount on him in a nice spot. So we mentioned it could be a bullpen game. It could be tough, but I do think he gives us a good outing. Um, and when the ball's over 90 degrees outside, I always lean over on runs.
Yeah.
Um, so that would be
I
my
actually
call.
wonder. I want to check what the Phillies team runs are or first five. So their first five line is at because I feel like their offense is so hit or miss. But yeah, it
Mhm.
is 2.5 plus 115 for first five. I thought maybe it would be like a juice 1.5, and I would pair it with something. But that's probably something I won't touch. But I do think the Phillies should be able to score runs after a terrible end of a road trip. I think they always seem to do better once they get home.
Yep, I'm with
The other thing I was thinking was interesting is Christian Javier is a guy I'm seeing all over Twitter. Uh, his strikeout line is at 5.5, and a lot of people are liking the under. And I get it because the Red Sox do have just like they don't really strike out as often. They're low 20% as a 1 to 9, but I want to see the price because the Astros bullpen is so
you.
trashed right now. It's very tired over the last 3 or 4 days, so I actually think there might be some fun where on Caesars you can parlay the over on outs and the under on strikeouts for say the same pitcher, and you can kind of get these crazy prices if you think he can go say into the fifth, but also not strike out six. So that price, if you're on Caesars, is over 15 half outs and under 5.5 strikeout is plus 490. See, I think that kind
Yeah.
of stuff is so funny to me because if it does kind of correlate not as well as you would think because it isn't over and under of the same pitcher. But if he's getting quick outs that aren't strikeouts, he should be able to go deeper in the game. So I do think
Mhm.
that's one of those fun looks for the slate. And when we talk about these bad short slates, I think it's kind of fun to maybe spend 5-10 bucks on plays like that sprinkled along rather than getting too much units out on a slate that you don't necessarily love.
Yeah, right now the Red Sox, I mean, they've been getting right this last like week or
They've
so.
been
I
hitting the
think,
shit out of the ball.
yeah, I mean, Devers might be the most, locked in guy right now. Yoshida as well. I think they could throw a lot of lefties at Javier today. Um, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's one of those. You like you said, you're kind of threading the needle a little bit, but I don't hate it. So, and I mean, if it's gaining steam on Twitter, I'm not sure where the line started and where it's going to close.
Yeah.
But
Well, I like the under 5.5 strikeouts, and then I kind of saw the juice on it,
yeah,
and I started thinking maybe I'll just make it more fun and only risk say like point 0.1 of a unit rather than risking 1.4 units to win a unit in a
yeah,
slate that is really just kind of injured. There's a lot of bad pitchers on the mound today, or a lot of
mhm,
ones that could get hit around. Especially, you have Watcha and Weathers in the Marlins Padres games, but
mhm,
I know you were talking about how you like to back offenses. I
yeah,
hate both of those offenses with a passion. The Marlins and the Padres. They're just two offenses that sometimes they get these first five lines of 1.5, and you think, how is it possible that they don't go over that? And then they just
right.
sit there and get no hit for 5 innings, and you don't understand how.
Oh my
So
gosh, yeah. I was fading. You brought up Waka, and it's like I couldn't wait to line up to fade Waka in his last start, and then he's out there just sitting down everybody, and you're just like, come on, like you look at the history of the matchups, like guys were mashing. They had like five guys that had hit multiple home runs on them, and were like all batting over 300, and we're at a
yeah,
decent sample size. And then yeah, he just goes out there and he starts mowing them down. So, sometimes you get a guy in a groove and you're in trouble. Other times you can get to him. Weathers, I know for sure, might be motivated. It's this is kind of a former team of his. He was there. They moved off of him. But yeah, it's not a guy that I want to ever invest money in. I think I could fade him.
yeah,
Um, like I said, I loved the Orioles against Waka, and then they didn't do anything. But maybe I don't know. I just would need to dig in more and again see what kind of lineup they throw out there. Um, but this heat wave is interesting. We're having it across the country, and I do think some of these run lines that are all eight, they're all around 8.5, 8. There's a 10.5 in the Braves game, but like I think we could see some runs tonight. I really do.
yeah. And I think it's interesting because that's what I was kind of mentioning too, where you want to back some of these teams, and then
Hmm.
they just always seem to mess it up at times. Weathers has given up. He's given up. I'm gonna say I just had it here in his last 8 starts. He's given up
Hmm.
3 or more runs in 7 of those 8. His walks line is 2.5, juiced
Hmm.
140 to the over. Uh, so basically, books are saying that he's going to allow a lot of base runners, and I'm just prepared that if I bet, say, the Padres over 2.5 first 5,
Yep.
it'll be like a walk, strikeout, double play every single inning, where they'll always have a bunch of base runners on and somehow mess it up. But
Yeah.
Padres, they kind of they're one of the top teams in the league against lefties, and I don't understand how that works at times because sometimes you
Hmm.
watch these teams play and they just can't get anything going. But I do like them at home. I might look into a way to fade Weathers
Yeah.
there. I know you kind of mentioned being motivated, but I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out firing. But at the same time, his recent performance against a team that should, by all means, mash left-handed pitching is very interesting to me.
Yep, even Soto's got good numbers. He's the only one that's really seen him that I expect to start. Maybe Cooper's in there, but Soto's got 2 hits, a single and a homer off of him. And then yeah, you expect Bogey will be in there, Gary Sanchez will be in there. If you're looking for a home run in that game, Gary Sanchez just pops into my head right now as like as a decent play. I'm sure he'll be somewhere in that like 6 or 7 spot in the order, but he's always mashing left-handed pitching. Um, if you don't want to play his home run, his RBIs, that he should have guys on base for what you
Yeah.
said. Like, I mean, his control's not great. Soto, we know will watch. Like, he has one of the best eyes in the game, so he'll
I
sit
was just
there.
about to say I
Yeah,
was looking over 0.5 walks for Soto's and minus 180. As I was talking, I was thinking, man, that might be a fun play. I
yeah.
thought maybe it'd be like minus 120s. Minus
No,
180 is a
minus
little
180
crazy.
is wild. Yeah. And then Kim. I mean, you're gonna have Tatis and Kim up at the top of the order. They're gonna be probably up there trying to swing hard and get on. So I do like that first five look for San Diego. You mentioned. I think fading Weathers, even though he might have a little bit more, sometimes they can work against you. Um, you
Being a
try
little
to
too
trying to overthrow everything. Yeah. But I think I might get it as long as again lineup dependent on some of this stuff. But
especially
I
because
probably go ahead.
especially because Weathers is supposed to be pitching, but some places have Cueto listed. Some people have Weathers. Some people have Hoeing. So I
Mhm.
don't know if there's something in terms of they haven't listed a starter. My official ESPN did say it was Weathers, but I don't know if maybe they haven't announced that yet. But
Yeah.
I guess that's a good thing because the sportsbook has Weathers listed. So I don't
So yeah,
know.
FanDuel's got to be determined that I'm seeing, but like you said, ESPN, I'm looking at Swish Analytics and like a couple of the other tools that I use for just pulling up
And
research
then
and
yeah, they all
also yeah, they all have weathers. So
and Weathers has lines on DraftKings. So
okay,
this is another one. This is another one where it talks about. I will definitely wait until confirmation before playing anything because last thing you want to do is bet a first five where it's not a market that gets canceled based off
yeah,
starting pitchers and then get blindsided by somebody else that you weren't planning to fade.
yep.
And then so I think we kind of covered a lot of the MLB small slate. Did you say you had a soccer play you wanted to talk about before we headed out?
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna dip soon, it is a nice little soccer slate today. I know that people are always excited to jump on Arsenal looks. Their money line 135 at Crystal Palace is looks pretty good to me. I think that they will have the lineup in about a half hour, and I'll dissect some player props. But there's value across the board here for goal scorers. Uh, I think Eddie and Ketia, who will play through the middle for Arsenal, plus 230. And again, you could shop that around. The wingers, both Martinelli and Saka, are both plus 250 or better. A lot of value in a goal scorer for Arsenal today across that front line. That's why I'm waiting to see what Arteta finally puts out. If you're more of a team prop and you're not necessarily looking to do player props or you don't have those markets, I think the Arsenal team total over 1.5 goals is a pretty strong play. I've talked to a lot of my soccer friends. They all seem to be kind of consensus, and they said, "Hey, what am I missing here? It's about minus 110, minus 115." I think you go ahead and make that a play. And yeah, that would be my one soccer thing I wanted to get out there for sure. Um, yeah, that's kind of it for
Well,
us.
see,
Like Monday.
I think I know JD mentioned that as well. He put I think I saw he quote said apologize in advance for setting this out. I like this play.
Yeah.
So I do think yeah, usually we have Brad talk about golf, but Brad's whoever knows where he is. I saw your golf clubs in the back. That's why I was mentioning that.
Oh
I
yeah.
was talking to Tone earlier. We have my brother going to college Thursday. He is soft like a senior going into a freshman year of college, and what
Mhm.
he wants to play with my family before he goes. So we have a tea time tomorrow at 2:30, and I
Nice.
reserved it for 6, even though we have 5. And my one friend, I called him today, and I said, "Hey, you off tomorrow?" He goes, "Yeah," and I thought it was saved because you need a 6, you can't do 5.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'll let you know. I'm not sure if I'd be down or not." And I was like, "Dude, you're off.
Uh,
You
yeah.
like come play like I like even if you're not good or even if you don't golf often, it's like your friends are all going golfing. As soon as he
Oh my
said I'm
gosh.
off,
Yeah.
I thought it was like a slam dunk, and now I'm scrambling to find a 6 for tomorrow. So we'll
Oh
see what
man.
happens there. So
I
my
wonder.
to end the show, my advice is if people ask you to go golfing, just do it. I mean, I'm
Just
not
do
that
it.
good at golf, but I'll always go and have a few drinks with friends on the course because there's no rules on the golf course. You just kind of have vibes.
Yep, it is immaculate for the vibes, and it's one of those things where if you're the better you are, like the less fun golf is because
Yeah.
then you're so like frustrated with yourself, like I didn't have the right, you know, whatever your ball strike. You're worried about that. Really, when you're just trying to go out there and break 100, you get to celebrate every small win, and then you
Yeah.
just laugh it up when one of the balls goes 40 feet into the woods, and you you just have to tee up another one like
Yeah, so
that.
I will say this to add on to
Mhm.
that. I say this the same way. If you're going golfing with like for fun, if you don't have a big beaver tail chunk with an iron and you laugh, if you get upset and you don't laugh it off, I don't respect you as a person. I feel like it's one of those things where sometimes things happen. You just have to kind of live with it. So that's what I was
Oh,
trying to tell him. Is like, I don't care how bad you are, just come have fun with us. You can we'll play scramble. Like, I don't care. Like just come have fun
come
if you
have a good
want.
time. It
Yeah.
is. It's great. I played with Eli recently. We had a good time, and yeah, we'll do it anytime we get a Gold Boys get together. I'll be part of your foursome, Brian. I promise. We'll
There
have a
you
good
go. And let's not clip that soundbite without the golf talk beforehime because that
time.
if not, that's going to sound really strange. But no, I think we were pretty efficient there. We'll let everyone
Mhm.
go because
Yep.
there's no point of us just talking on air about our shitty golf game when there's
Sure.
money to be made. So I
Oh,
appreciate being on here, Matt. Oh, what's up? You
yes,
guys, nothing
one
else?
spot. I forgot. It's a Bailey Falter day. If anything's gonna wake up the Cardinals bats, it's Bailey Falter pitching. So like, come on, Cardinals. I mean, this is a sweet spot. Goldie, Arenado, Tyler O'Neill, you name
I
it. Like
forget he exists. The Phillies legend. Uh,
Phillies legend.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I like
That
that.
Cardinals should have a good day at the plate. And if
And
they
they're on
don't,
the road, which means you get 9 full innings, which is
yep.
always big if you're a heavy favorite.
Yep. I think it's a nice spot for them for sure. But yeah, that's the last one I got. We get out of
No,
here.
perfect. I appreciate you, and I think we can wrap it up there. But let's go Phillies tonight. And I appreciate Matt being on here. We had so many people that couldn't make it because they don't appreciate our audience as much as we do, which is a whole other
Exactly.
thing. So we appreciate you being on here. We thank Hall of Fame Bets, Picket Sports, and Sleeper Picks, and we hope you guys a great day. And if you are a fan, me, Nick, and Ryan will be back here at 5 p.m. today. So it'll be a good time.
Ooh, that's always fun. Yeah, you got to check out Brian and Ryan talk sports. It's a good one.
Plus Nick Larson now. He's not a part of the show.
Ooh,
He's an asterisk. He's a plus.
nice. You get some
Awesome.
bonus Big Nick tonight. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It should be must see. I'll be watching, boys.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
Yep.